Yes, Illustrator. That's one of the applications that has its birthday this year. Does it every year, but in this year, it is 25 years ago that Illustrator 1.0 came out. And, well, maybe it's nice to have a look at how that looked. So let me open Illustrator 1.0. Okay. I need some files with that. If you have a look at YouTube, you will see the founding father of Adobe, John Warnock, demonstrating Illustrator. Included in the first Illustrator was a videotape, and he showed this. So you can see it demonstrating on YouTube. Actually, Illustrator at that time was meant to scan artwork, and you had artwork in a pixel format, as you can see here. And we had artwork in template at the moment, so I could work with vectors, select them, trace them as accurately as possible by hand. No auto trace at that time. If you want to preview how that looked, and unfortunately fonts were only bitmaps at that time, only if you printed it to a PostScript printer it came out very nice. You had to go to the preview. It had to think a lot, and there was the result. Actually, if you set up color in the paint type, you could do cyan, magenta, yellow combinations. It only came out as black and white. There were no color printers, so that was Illustrator 88 a couple of years later. So let's not say so. I've found it. I have a virtual floppy. I can even create something in Illustrator 1.1 and open it in the latest version, the CS6 version. So let me shut this down. That's very important. Shut down. Okay, and close it. So yeah. What we've seen in the beginning was Henk Schiefmacher was creating artwork, and actually that artwork was immediately uploaded when he went sketching to my Creative Cloud. So that looked like this. So I can download every one of these items in here and start continuing with it in Illustrator. Now I've already done that, and you won't be surprised that I picked one over here. So let me just quit this one, go to Bridge, and open this ID. So I could continue working with it in Illustrator immediately. What I'd like to do is to continue working with this one. It's a sketch. Now maybe he didn't mean to have that there, so let's get rid of it. Select all, make it a little bit smaller. So let me do it from the center. Let me make it like this. So, because one of the things we improved a lot in Illustrator is pattern creation. So I could use this maybe as a pattern. The only thing I have to do now is go here, pattern, make. That's it. Then it's a pattern. And it used to be, I don't know if any of you ever made a pattern in Illustrator. No, if you don't do this regularly, you always forget, I have to draw a rectangle, must it be on top, must it be below, and you always took the wrong choice. But now you can see that's very easy, and you have various ways of showing it. So I can showing it as a brick by row, hex by columns. I can scale this if I like, so we can make it a little bit smaller. I can move it around in this box. Create all kinds of variations of the pattern. And when I'm done, I just delete the original, and I have a new pattern, and every object I make, I can fill with that particular pattern. If I want to edit the pattern, just double-click it. Oops, that's a rectangle. Just double-click it. And you can select all, give it a totally different color, or make other variations of it, and automatically everything you have applied the pattern to will get the new version of the pattern. Also, you can make a copy. Okay, so that's one of the powerful things, I think, of the Creative Cloud, is you can start in a train, sketch stuff, and continue with it immediately when you go to the office later, or to your workplace. Another thing that is nice in Illustrator is this. auto trace. Well, it's actually more or less the same thing I did with the pattern. So I'll just drop it here. This is actually the carpet from The Shining. And I can select it, select image trace. I'll select another preset, 3 colors. Now the difference between the previous version of image trace is that this is more, much more accurate. So the colors you see are really the colors from the image, and not something that looks like more or less the colors of the image. And you get indeed 3 colors instead of more or less 3 colors. So what I'll do, I'll expand this, and because it's not using too many points on the path, I can also start creating a pattern from this. Okay, do the same thing. Pattern make, and I've done it. Okay. So scanning stuff, converting it to a path, creating a pattern from it is very, very easy. Now, another thing that we changed in Illustrator, actually the most effort has been gone into optimizing it for modern computers. So it's now a 64-bit application that can use as many memory as you put in your machine. We have rewritten a whole lot of code. We have redone the user interface. So if you want, for instance, a dark user interface like we have in the video applications or in Bridge, you can use that. Which also meant that we had to redesign all these new icons and tools and dialog boxes, etc. Okay. I think I have 1 more minute for Illustrator, so let me finalize it with 2 things. One thing is this. Unfortunately, I do not have the previous version, the CS5 version of Illustrator on my machine. Otherwise, you could see the difference between what I do now and what you saw in the previous version. This is well, not quite a complicated artwork with a lot of blurs, as you can see here behind the letters, and here these are also blurred. Blurs were very calculation intensive in Illustrator, and you had to wait. If you changed something like, let's say, the document raster effects settings, set it to a higher resolution, you had to wait. It may be that, depending on the machine you're working on now, well, it's giving me a couple of Gaussian blur dialogues. It can be faster if you have a faster hard disk. But if I opened this in the previous version, you had to wait a couple of minutes for all these Gaussian blurs to be recalculated. Now, that has been accelerated a lot, and it's much, much faster. Another nice thing, and I'll stop with that, is if you wanted to create something like a gradient on a stroke, it was not impossible, but you had to do a lot of things and tricks and workarounds. Now it's very easy. I'll make it a little bit thicker than this, let's say 10 points, and I just select from the stroke palette a gradient. Now let me take this one, and here you can control how the gradient will behave. So it can be within the stroke, along the stroke, so it starts here and it ends there, or it can within the stroke, which means it goes in this way. Now, because we have these stroke tools that you can use to make it, for example, a little bit bigger over here, or bigger over there, or smaller over here, and save this as presets, you can create all kinds of various interesting shapes with it. Okay, there's more, but I want to hand it over now to my colleague, Peter, who's going to show you a lot about InDesign. He has more time than I do, but we'll come back with those.
Do I?
Okay. Yes. Thanks.